Look, I'm gonna save you about 6 hours of YouTube videos where someone just reads off spec sheets and pretends they've flown every drone. DJI's lineup right now is honestly kind of tricky to navigate. You've got like 12 different models and they all sound amazing, but you're not sure if half the features are just marketing speak for stuff that barely works. So here's what actually matters after spending way too much time on this. And I'm not doing that annoying countdown thing because honestly, who cares about ranking them 1 through 10? I'm just gonna tell you which ones are worth looking at and which ones are traps. Secure links are right there for the latest discounts. Let's go! If you've never flown before, the Neo 2. That's it, that's the answer. Weighs 151 grams, which means, and this is huge, you don't have to register it with the FAA if you're in the US. That alone is worth it because filling out government forms when you're just trying to fly a toy around is peak annoying. But also, it's just less scary, you know? It's light enough that crashing it doesn't feel like you threw a laptop at the ground. You can actually experiment instead of being terrified the whole time. The really wild thing is you can literally just throw it. Well, not throw it, but like hand launch it without a controller. Uses your phone and follows you around. First time I saw someone do this, I thought it was fake, but apparently it actually works. AI tracking or whatever. Then later, you can grab a real controller when you want more control. Camera's 4K. Stabilization's decent. Battery maybe 25 to 30 minutes if you're not pushing it. For Instagram or just learning how to fly without hitting trees, it's fine. Not gonna win any cinematography awards, but that's not the point. Only thing is it's definitely a beginner drone. Like you'll probably outgrow it if you get serious. But as a do I even like this hobby test, it's perfect. Way better than buying something expensive and realizing you actually just wanted to try it once. What I'd actually buy. Air 3S. And I'm not even being dramatic, this is genuinely what I'd get if I was starting over. 2 cameras. Main one's got a 1-inch sensor which is like actually big for a consumer drone. Not wow that's huge, but big enough that shooting at dusk doesn't turn into a grainy disaster. Then there's a 70mm telephoto for when you want to zoom without moving the drone. Both do 4K at 60 FPS, which is basically the minimum for anything you'd want to edit. And both do that vertical video thing at 2.7K, so you're not cropping down from horizontal for TikTok or Reels or whatever. The LiDAR thing though, that's the feature nobody's talking about enough. It's this forward-facing sensor that means the obstacle avoidance works at night. Like actually at night, not, well, if there's some ambient light maybe. Game changer if you shoot golden hour stuff that goes into blue hour. Return to home is also weirdly impressive. Uses visual markers instead of just GPS, so it doesn't get confused when you're flying between buildings. I've read so many horror stories of drones just disappearing because RTH failed, and this basically fixes that. Flies for like 40 to 45 minutes, which is legitimately all day if you've got 2 batteries, maybe 3 if you're doing a serious shoot. Downside is it's over 250 grams, so yeah, registration. Takes 5 minutes online, but it's still a thing. Also, it's definitely not cheap. Not Mavic expensive, but like mid-tier pricing. But for what you get, 2 cameras, insane low-light performance, long flight time, night obstacle sensing. This hits basically every box that actually matters without charging you for stuff you'll never use. I keep coming back to this one when I'm comparing everything. Just makes sense for the widest range of people. The portable one. Mini 5 Pro is interesting because it stays under 250 grams, no registration, but packs in features that feel almost unfair for that weight. Obstacle sensors everywhere. Does 10-bit D-Log, which is that pro color thing that gives you room to color grade. Shoots 4K at 60 FPS in HDR. Vertical video native at 2.7K. Flight time 30 to 35 minutes. Controller's actually nice, not that cheap plastic feeling. The only catch is 1 camera. No telephoto, no zoom flexibility, just the 1 lens. So if you need that versatility, you're out of luck. But if you travel a ton and you know you'd actually bring this places versus leaving it at home because it's bulky, this is probably smarter than the Air 3S. Portability is a feature people undervalue until they're lugging gear around an airport. Also, the no registration thing isn't nothing. Flying overseas or in random cities gets way simpler when you don't need paperwork. The one that's premium tier but a bit overkill. Mavic 4 Pro. Triple cameras, 100 megapixel photos, 6K video, 2 telephotos, camera that rotates completely, flies for almost an hour, costs about what you'd expect to pay for all that. It's genuinely impressive. Like from an engineering perspective, kind of crazy what they fit in here. Sports mode hits 60 miles per hour. Transmission range is like 18 miles, which you can't legally use, but whatever. Problem is, most people don't actually need all this. 3 cameras sounds amazing until you realize you're using the main one for 90% of your shots. That 168mm telephoto is cool, but when do you really need to shoot something that far away? If you're doing commercial cinematography or industrial inspections where you need maximum flexibility, sure, makes sense. But I've seen so many people buy this just because it's the best, and then they're essentially flying a really expensive Air 3S. Most honest thing I can say about the Mavic 4 Pro is it's built for people who know exactly why they need it. If you're asking whether you need it, you probably don't. The FPV thing. Avata 2 is completely different. Not about aerial photography, it's about strapping on goggles and flying like you're in the thing. Put on the goggles 3 and you're not standing in a field anymore. You're inside the drone doing flips through doorways and under bridges. Feels kind of like a video game, except you're actually flying. Propellers are protected so you can get closer to stuff without immediately destroying it. Has GPS and can hover, which FPV people will roll their eyes at, but everyone else appreciates when they panic. Controllers this motion thing instead of dual sticks. Tilt it to fly. Way easier learning curve than traditional FPV. But it's so specific. If you want normal aerial shots, this makes 0 sense. This is only for people who want that immersive action footage aesthetic. Works great for adventure sports, dynamic travel content, maybe interior real estate tours. But if you're shooting landscapes or product stuff or whatever, literally any other drone is better. Flying it is genuinely fun though. Different experience than regular drones. Worth trying if you get the chance, but probably not your first purchase unless you already know you want FPV. So what should you get? Depends on what you're actually doing with it. Starting out, Neo 2. Want the best overall? Air 3S. Travel constantly? Mini 5 Pro. Professional work? Mavic 3 Classic. Need everything? Mavic 4 Pro. Want FPV? Avata 2. There is no best one, just the one that fits what you'll actually use it for. Figure out your use case, be honest about budget, and don't buy more drone than you need just because some YouTuber said it was the best. The gear you'll actually bring with you beats the gear that sits at home. Again, secure links are in the description so you land at the official store and get the latest discounts. Now, go fly something before you overthink this anymore.